Hello, everyone, and welcome to this talk with some of the moles who work for Second Life in the Linden Department of Public Works. We're joined by Maximus Mole, Abner Mole, Cronus Mole, Alotta Mole, and Dion Mole, and we're also pleased to welcome back Patch Linden, who's currently wiping his nose, but never mind. Before we actually start, I'd like to draw your attention to a couple of things. First of all, there is behind me something called the Wall of Hope, where people can light slices of hope. They can buy them for a minimum of 500 lindens, and the slice will light up. They can also add a dedication to someone or something, whatever they like, really. And we're hoping by the end of the Home and Garden Expo that we'll have the whole wall lit up. It's already looking rather bright and beautiful. So if you can, the money goes straight to Relay for Life. And at 4 o'clock today, as on every day, we'll have a special ceremony on the roof of the theatre. This goes right back to 2012. We release Chinese lanterns into the night sky as an exercise, I guess, in remembrance, recollection, reflection. It's a beautiful ceremony, and I hope some of you will be able to join us for it. It's just half an hour. But now let's start the talk. And what I'm going to do is go along and ask each mole a question in turn. And so I'm going to start with Maximus. Moles, moles bring to their work for the lab specialities. Some are scripters, some are builders, some are decorators, some are events people. What's yours, Maximus?
That is an excellent question. And as soon as I find out what it is, I will tell you. I'm more of a generalist. I work, or the work I do comes across a number of different projects that the department handles. So, I don't know, attention to detail, ability to bug people, poetry.
So, how did you come to be a mole? Were you approached, or did you apply?
It was suggested to me that I should put my application in, and I actually applied to become a decorating mole initially, and that went reasonably well. And then there was a vacancy. It was sort of somebody else then came and said maybe you should try it for QA, and indeed there I am now. I'm dealing on that side of things. Yeah, it's not, I think, an uncommon story. Come over here and have a go.
Right. And so you've moved to quality assurance now. Great. So, Abner, I know, because we've been filming with you on Designing Worlds for a long time, you're a very long-standing mole. So, how did you come to be a mole, and what's your speciality?
Well, when I first found out about it, it was back when, right around when they first began the LDPW, and at the time it was more we were going around and doing things on the mainland, and so I found out about it, and I talked to Michael Linden, and just showed him some pictures and locations of things that I had built, and he said, "Yeah, that looks pretty good," and they offered to me to become a mole, and I did. And at first most of what we were doing was like the mainland roads and things. That was the focus, but over the years, I've branched into other things as I've, done little bits here and there and learned new things and tried different things and right now what I'm doing is we're building a continent. So that's how it happens sometimes.
Yeah, you start off with a few little Greek houses and it ends up with a continent.
Right. It's like, hey, here's a bridge I built, and yeah, oh, here's a little road. Okay, yeah. Oh, and now, yeah, we're building entire, you know,
Continent.
hundreds of regions of just, yeah, an entire continent.
So can I ask you, what was your first build? Can you remember back in the mists?
My very as a mole,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was one of the mainland roads, probably like Route 8 or something, one of those, Route 7 or Route 8, um, on the mainland continents.
Wow. So moving on to the other side. Can people hear me? Because Corby was saying she couldn't hear me. Okay. Right. Okay, thanks, Corby. So Cronus, what about your specialities and how did you come?
Hey, so yeah, I'm a content creator. I make a lot of things. I like to do things like animesh, texturing. I work mainly on um, content creation for Linden homes, but also some special projects. I've been a mole for about a year and a half nearly. I just dropped Derek a note card one day, and a couple of months later, I head back.
So what sort of animation things have you been doing?
Oh, that's a secret.
Oh,
I did a premium gift. I think it was
right.
last Halloween. The ghoul, that was one of the animesh things, but
Oh,
yeah.
oh, were you responsible for that wonderfully creepy thing where the coffins, where the sort of the ground, it was in Millbank, where the sort of the ground
Oh
rose
yes,
up.
yeah. The Cthulhu, with the
Yes,
boathouse. Yeah, and the tentacles came
yeah,
out the ground. Yeah, I'm responsible
yeah.
for that.
That was wonderful. Love that. Okay, Alotamo. Great name.
Thank you.
So, what was your actually, Cronus? You didn't say how you came. Did you apply or were you?
Yeah, I threw a note card over to Derek one day and
All right,
head back a couple of months later, and that's how I came to be a mom.
brilliant. So, Alotta, if I can move on to you, what's your speciality?
Well, I'm part of the quality assurance department and
Right.
also of the marketing side that is the mall section. So I do some of the pictures that you see out there.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's my main part in the mall department.
Right. Well, with an entire continent being built, there's a lot of quality assurance to do, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things to check, that's for sure. So, yeah.
So, how did you come to be a mole?
Well, I met Patch by complete mistake. Um, they contacted him to make a joke on somebody, and then they invited me. That's actually how I got to meet my first Linden. He saw my blog and all the stuff that I had, and he liked my pictures, and he offered me to be part of the team. And of course, I said yes because it's an honor. So yeah.
Yeah. Dion, what about you? What's your specialty and how did you come to be a mole?
My specialty is drinking coffee. A lot of
Okay.
coffee. I'm mostly part of the decoration team, and I work very closely with Cronus on several projects.
Right. Are you allowed to tell us any of these projects?
No, I can tell you about one that is publicly known. That is the NFLA project. I think that's one of the projects that we worked on quite a lot. Yeah.
Right. Well, what is the NFLA project?
I think that's something Cronus can better explain than me.
Okay.
The NFLA project was it was for the NFL alumni, and it was to coincide with the Super Bowl.
Right.
And we had we partnered up with the ESTV through a streaming network that was streaming high school kids playing. I think it was one of the NFL games on the PlayStation or something.
Right.
I don't really know a whole heap about American football. Madden, that's it. Yeah, Madden. They were playing a tournament, and we streamed. We recreated a massive stadium which covered 4 regions. It's I think there was about 18,000 chairs in total, if I remember correctly. But it's
Wow.
definitely worth a visit. It's
Mm.
pretty massive. We streamed, so they were streaming and we streamed that then into Second Life. We had various different performers and Second Life residents that performed, and we recorded them, and that was streamed then out for the halftime show for their streaming tournament. That was pretty exciting.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Do you think we got a lot of uptake from that? People coming into Second Life Patch?
Yeah, we did see some folks coming in. There were a good handful of new signups that came in, and they actually came to the stadium and checked out the shows and watched the streaming events and stuff. Yeah, we did see some.
That's great. So, Dion, how did you actually come to be a mole?
I worked a few times closely with the moles and the Lindens as a volunteer on a resident account, and I enjoyed it a lot, so I decided to apply to become a mole.
Right. So, yes, I guess you have been working on these events that have come in to Second Life. This is kind of a general question to the moles. Things like, Ol just pointed out, Gen Con came in. Was that something moles worked on, helped with?
I'm not too sure. Patch, were we involved with that one?
Linden was, but yeah, we didn't actually have to do anything for a build for them. They did their own.
All right.
Some of the biggest ones we've done are the Titmouse Smash Party, which was an incredible event where people could go and smash up different objects in a cage. And it was a replica of a real life event that the Titmouse team held every year. That was a pretty fun one. And we also did the Adult Swim event where they previewed their new season of their show.
That's wonderful. It's good to see them coming back. I guess with COVID, it's something that has developed again, because we had years and years ago there was the what was it, NCI? No, not NCI, the other one. Can't remember the name of the program. CSI, that's it. Thanks, Abner. Because that was a big thing that came in back in the day. So long. Bad memories, Patch?
I was the one who had to hand copy 200 instances of their regions for launch night.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, we'll move on from that. What I wanted to ask you guys now is what it's like working for the lab, challenges and triumphs. And I'm going to start off by asking you what projects you enjoy working on most. So I'll head back to Maximus. What element do you enjoy working on most?
The actual working on, I spend most of my time working on a little project you might have heard of called Linden Hody Yody 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 Yo Ho Ho. Which definitely it takes up most of my time, and it's a lot of fun. It's great being part of the process, and Abda is someone who can speak a lot more on this one. But the process that takes us from an idea to a community like Belissaria. But the best part is the people. Patch is an absolute diamond to work for, and the team I'm assigned to. It's rare that we stop laughing even as the work gets done.
That's nice. That's a nice thing to have for your work. Abner, what about you? Would you agree about Belissaria being what you're
Well,
enjoying most? You've got more to
that's
remember.
it's very much the project they work the most on, and I think the rewarding part about it is, when we're looking at it, okay, what can we put in this region? How can we make this coastline, or let's put some mountains over here, and then just down to the point where you're putting in the parcels and saying, oh wow, that one's going to be a really nice one. That one's going to be really great looking. And normally I do most of the initial infrastructure when we're building out Linden home regions, and then the rest of the team comes in and they do their part and everything. And what I really like is the most satisfying part is when it's like I'll stop and go back to the ones that we've all been working on, so I'm seeing the progression from bare land to where everything is built in with the infrastructure and the roads, to where they've started to put in the trees and the bushes and the little bits here and there, and then keep going a little further, and you're seeing it's all fleshed out with all the detail. And I find myself just looking around going, wow, this is really good. We've really made something special. And thinking, the first thing that pops in my head is the people who get these houses are just going to love it.
Mm.
And that's the most rewarding part, I think.
And they clearly do, because, yeah, Belissaria is just such a vibrant community.
It really is. It really is. We get questions and things every time, but it's always that's satisfying too. Is there's so much demand that people are like, I want a house. How can I get this house? Where can we? Yeah, it's really nice that so many people so much, and that it has this vibrant community that's built up around it.
One of the things Patch and I were talking about the other night, which is kind of the next stage of how friends can get to have houses close to each other so they can be in the same neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
which is a nightmare.
It is. I mean, the way the Linden Homes was set up, it's very random in where you get the houses. So
Right.
you know, it kind of it's a very leveling playing field that way. It's like, nobody is getting a special house somewhere because of special, egalitarian is kind of the word that
Yeah.
comes to mind. It's very everyone has an equal shot, which I really like that part of it, is that but yeah, it's nice if people can live together in the same region, and people have found ways to do that if they're wily enough and their timing is just right. But yeah, it would also be nice if there was a way that would facilitate that a little bit easier too.
When you've built enough houses for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
which could
Yeah.
be, several years.
I think one of the things that we wanted to avoid was I think we wanted to avoid the houses themselves becoming a commodity.
Mhm.
Because you can't buy or sell them. You get one, and everyone has the shot of getting a great house in the perfect spot or the perfect spot for them. But yeah, I think that was kind of the thinking behind it, was just to avoid them being and we do that as well when we're building them. We try to make it so we're not making any one house significantly more special than everybody else's,
Mm.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah, but with enough variety that one house is going to be someone's dream home.
Oh, sure. I mean, location is everything, and there's going to be some locations that are naturally better than others, but we try to even it out a little bit so that there are no totally crappy houses, and there are no totally, um, super amazing special, what we call internally Oprah's house. Oprah must live up there because, but
Yeah,
yeah.
she's got the headland and all that water around her. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so Kronos, what about you? What would you say what you've enjoyed most?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I mean, I've enjoyed all the projects. All of them come
Mm.
with their quirks and exciting things we get to do. But for me, what I enjoy most is having a team of people that I can trust and work well with.
Mm.
Um, having that sort of team that I can bounce my ideas off and and go to them if I've got problems or I'm struggling with you know when you're trying to rig something and it just doesn't go right and you're like help. it's it's really nice to have a great team of people there who all have different backgrounds and different experiences in Second Life, and we kind of together we build a pretty strong team, and you're going to
Mm.
get those questions answered and that help. That's the super awesome thing.
It's something people say about the earlier days of Second Life before Mesh came in, that builders were involved in more collaborative projects because they could build with prims and someone could come in and add a few more prims, which is tougher to do in Mesh. But you
Yeah.
guys have really got, I guess, the biggest collaborative work going on.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I may make something, pass it to someone else to texture it, pass it to someone else to QA it, then it goes to someone else to script. So it's it's very rare you do one thing and it's just you. It's everything's pretty much a collaborative effort, which is pretty fun.
What about you, Lotta? What have you found you've enjoyed working on most?
Well, I gotta say though, for more special that SLB is, and I feel very lucky that I could be part of the planning part of SLB. Before, Linden Homes is way too special. I was lucky that I entered to the mold department when Linden Homes was just like an idea,
Mm.
and I did the prototype pictures for it, and then from there I went into decorating in them, and now I QA for them. So it's very interesting to see how it evolved and turned into this major project, and it means so much to everybody in Second Life, and bring this a spark of creativity and community into everyone, and it was just interesting to see it grow into what it is now.
What about you, Dion? What has been your favourite thing to work on?
That's a tough one. I would say every single project I work on has its own things that I really enjoy. I can't choose. Um, like to refer to what Abner was talking about with the Linden homes. Like every parcel you decorate, you try to decorate it a way that a resident would see it. Like once you're done decorating the parcel, you look like around the parcel, you bring the homes up, and you literally try to picture what the residents would see, and how they would enjoy the parcel. But with other projects, for example, the NFLA, you're trying to make everything look realistic and grand and amazing. It's just hard to choose.
Mm.
I would say everything. And what I personally really like is when a resident needs help, that I get to steal their coffee from their homes.
Do you actually go, and this is kind of a collective question, but if you want to take it in order, that would be great. Do you actually go to the finished parts of Belissaria and see what people have done with them, Maximus?
I do. One of the biggest thrills, I think, in my early days of being a mole was going back to the first region I decorated, and seeing that people were living in it, and that they were clearly liking it, and seeing how they rigged out the houses and rigged out the gardens, and it's just that little thing of we set the thing up, and my line on it is that it's nothing without the people who live there. Without the Belisarians themselves, it's just a really pretty bunch of meshes. But with them, it's a community. It's homes.
Yeah, I go back on on my mole account and also on my resident account. I will go through the Belissaria regions with a purpose. One, I enjoy it. The second is I'm also looking at what residents have done from the aspect of enjoying seeing that they are enjoying their parcels and everything. And I'm also looking at what are they doing here, and how better can I keep that in mind as we're making more parcels and we're making as we're expanding Belissaria. How are they using their parcels in ways that we can assist with? Just to get a flavor of because the residents are the ones that we're making these for. So how can we better make what we're making to facilitate what they are doing with them?
Yeah. So it's a kind of circular feedback.
Right. Exactly.
Patch, what about you? Do you pop in and have a look at how residents are using
Oh yeah,
Belissaria?
all the time, and you never know what my alt's doing there in the community, terrorizing people and stuff like that too. So, he's in there too, and participating, and yeah, you never know who that might be, and I've got my own house, and I have since the beginning, and it's great to be able to get on my golf cart or whatever and ride around and check out the homes and what people are doing with them, seeing how they're decorating them, especially during the holiday times and stuff when people put out seasonal stuff. That's probably my favorite time, really, where you won't find a day that I am not out on the road somewhere, kind of passing through time in between meetings and stuff like that to see what's going on. But yeah, I'm out there quite a bit.
That was going to be, I want to ask Maximus and Abner, do you have Linden homes possibly under different names?
Maybe.
I might. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
I'm now rolling that question across to Cronus, Alotta, and Dion. Do you have Linden homes on your alt?
I sure do.
Yeah. But
But-
you will never know.
I make other people decorate it for me. Mine are normally empty with a load of random stuff left on the floor until one of my friends gets annoyed at me and just goes and decorates it for me.
Dion, what about you?
I actually do, yeah. Yeah, I really enjoy living in the area that I live in, and I also enjoy just renting a train out and ride. It's really amazing to experience everything. I like it.
But he had 2 chairs only at his house. I saw it.
Me? No.
Yes.
I had a bunch of food as well.
I used to say the trouble with the old Linden homes was that people bought them, they put in a cuddle rug, a sex bed, and a potted plant, and then thought it was decorated. But Belissaria is so different. People,
Yeah, they're up to 2 potted plants now.
Yeah. Just don't sit on that plant. Yeah. Yeah, it is. I think it's I think the new Linden homes are much more outward facing than the other ones were. The other ones were the place where people went and called themselves in. The houses kind of added to that too, the way the houses were made. Um, whereas Belissaria is much more outward facing, where you're looking from your parcel out, not just in your parcel in. Um, which I think is a good thing because that's what really feeds into the whole community thing, because you're there with your neighbors and your friends come over, and you can go exploring and seeing other areas of Belissaria and meeting other people and hanging out in the different places, some of them that ourselves have built. um yeah, so people are much more inclined to make their homes look good from the outside as
mm,
much as they are from the inside.
mm. Yeah, Corby was saying she keeps forgetting to decorate her place. Well, Corby, if you want to find furniture that's going to work in your Linden home, you are in the right place. Carrie would probably encourage you to miss her interview. So, Kronos, do you enjoy? Do you get to mix with the community? You sound very enthusiastic about your home.
Yeah, I do. I do. I mean, I sneak around and I do judge people based on how they decorate their homes. But no, I take my horse out sometimes and go and have a ride around the community. Uh, it's nice and relaxing. No, I'm just sneaking around to see how people decorate. um, but yeah, I like to go and explore from time to time. Me and Dion like to head over to mainland and hop on the pods and go around there. That's what we like to do in our spare time.
Oh, you've Clan Fair. You Clan Fair's pods that go all
Yes,
around the
yeah,
mainland.
we hop on them and
Yeah.
buckle in for the ride.
That's a great thing to do. So, Alotta, what about you? Do you mix with the community much?
Oh yeah, I always go check them. Before I used to decorate on the live region, so I could always give a peek of what was people doing around with their houses, and it's always very exciting because you never expect what they're gonna do with it. And I think especially when we released the traditionals, it was pretty shocking to see how creative people was going with their houses, to how much they would customize their houses to make them look unique. And it was just amazing to see that. I'm always every time they're gonna release something, I want to see how people is gonna turn it around and make new stuff for it. It's always pretty exciting.
Mm, mm. I know that with my trailer, I've got a kind of yard around it now, so that I can sit out on a deck outside the trailer, and it's so lovely to be able to do that sort of thing. So, Dion, yes, you go around with Kronos and do
Yeah,
stuff.
we quite often roam around mainland, but also in Belissaria. We enjoy just roaming around and like letting everything flow and just experience like all the different parcels and especially on mainland. It's quite funny sometimes to see what you spot. But Belissaria is just usually like quite calm and relaxed. and I really enjoy roaming around Belissaria.
We've talked quite a bit about the Linden homes, and they're obviously a really, really important part of your job. But I guess, most of you worked on games as well. The games have, I guess, Patch taken a bit of a back seat while Belissaria gets built up.
Yeah. I think you're talking about like Linden Realms and Paleo
Yes.
Quest and all those. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Most of the moles here were probably are newer than that, but yeah, I worked a lot with the Linden home and Linden Realms and
Yes. Yeah, because yes, you were quite involved with things like oh gosh, what's the one on the adult estate?
Horizons.
Horizons, yes.
Horizons, yeah, the Horizons game. Yep, that's another one.
Yeah, because there's quite a few. Patch, are any games planned for the future, or are you going to sort of tie them into things like Halloween and winter?
I don't have any games right on a near horizon planned. Well, and the plans that I do probably have, which would be post Linden Homes. I mean, I can't really say too much without probably spoiling the direction we might go in, but
Right.
probably related.
Mm-hmm. Someone's just asked, Holoclock has just asked, are glitches done, or are they still going on?
They're still there. We haven't shut them down or anything. And that's another one that we could potentially pick up and do more with, if we wanted to at some point in the future. Perhaps even around Belissaria and stuff like that. Because I mean, that's what they were designed for.
Yeah. Do they run at the moment on Belissaria?
We would have to put them out, but they
Right.
would.
That would be good because you've got quite a lot of public area, she hints. So, has moving to the cloud affected your work at all? And what, for all of you, can I ask, has been the impact of coronavirus? Have you found that it's been supportive being part of a mole team at this time? I'll follow the usual pattern, start with you, Maximus.
Okay. I came on board in January of last year,
Mm-hmm.
so things were just starting to become we were starting to appreciate the magnitude of what was coming to happen in the year after it. So I don't have a pre-COVID mole experience, but what I can say is that apart from the hellacious commute to work, all the way, and indeed having to stop via the kettle for morning coffee because the struggle is indeed real. It's great. The working atmosphere is no different than I would expect it to be if COVID weren't a thing, because we are all working from our respective locations. The team assembles in Second Life, so wherever you are, you're still coming in world, and we're still all in here together.
Would you say that's true for you too, Abner?
I'm sorry, I missed the original question. I was answering a message somebody
Sorry,
sent me. What was it?
I was talking about the impact of coronavirus, and have you found being part of the mole team supportive at this time?
Well, I mean, I was working as a mole before, the whole COVID hit. So, all of this stuff was happening around me, and I suddenly found out that my normal lifestyle is now called quarantine. So in that aspect, it really didn't impact what I was doing very much. But I think that as all of this has been been going on. What it has done, it is really made me appreciate how much something like Second Life added to my experience. Seeing a lot of my family and friends dealing with all these hardships of not being able to go out, not being able to see each other, not being able to just interact, and going through all of that. How important that is, and how having something like this interaction, social interaction through this virtual space, allowed me to really appreciate how important that it is.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's something that so many of people have appreciated. Again, Patch and I were talking on Tuesday about how this really beats Zoom conversations.
In many aspects, yes, it does. Very much so.
So Patch, you too, I think you found this supportive, have you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what about you guys, Kronos?
Yeah, I mean, to kind of reiterate what Abno said, how fortunate we are to have Second Life, especially seeing, friends and family who are unable to meet up, and, it's quite upsetting. But then, I can just kind of roll out of bed and log in, and, my friends are there. It's been reassuring in that sense. But then, I also have an excuse as to why I sit at my computer all day now. I'm not being judged as much, which is quite nice. But I think,
yeah.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I have noticed that, and a lot of my friends have reached out and said, how do you do this? And I give them
Right.
advice, and yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. It's but I think that's kind of one of the, not to say good things that have come out of this, because there's not particularly been any good things that have come out of this, but I think it's allowed people to appreciate that online communities and things like Second Life and online gaming sort of as the whole bubble, it's extremely important to people, and I hope the knowledge we've learned from this we take into the future when we respect people more who enjoy spending their time online, because it's an important part of a lot of people's lives. Yeah, we're not as weird anymore. We're still weird, just not as weird.
We're still weird. Nothing's gonna change that.
Weird and proud. Actually, two other things have just struck me. One is that nobody thinks that my expensive work chair is a stupid idea anymore. But one of the great things about mole community side of it is every week we have mole meet.
Right.
And part of that is everybody gives an update on what they've been doing in the week. And this last month or so, people have been announcing when they've got the vaccine. And there has been, yeah, I got the vaccine, and everybody's cheering.
Yeah.
And that's just sort of gives you a really good example of what a community we have the good fortune to work in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I've had
working
that
from home.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just going to say I've had that on Facebook with friends from all over, sort of announcing they've got the vaccine and everyone being so happy.
Yeah, because it brings some sense of safety for the ones that you love. So it's just it's like relief, to be honest, sometimes. I gotta say, working from home is not easy though. Like, I was already on quarantine before that, but I think it made our job even more important because you realize how much it means for everybody, not just the malls, but the residents. The events that we do, getting their home, is Second Life became their safe place to actually distract themselves from everything that was happening outside. So it really put up the responsibility that we have on what we do. and knowing how much it means to people. So yeah, I think that's what mainly changed. Like we know how much it means.
Yeah. Dion, how about you?
Well, there isn't much to add anymore, I guess, at this point. The only thing that I would like to say is that I've been only a mole for like 5 months now, I think. And I have to say that it's really helped me to cope with the real life situation. Because now I was stuck inside, but now I'm stuck inside and I get to work whenever I want at a really amazing job with a really amazing boss. Hi, Patch. um, but like it helps a lot, and I think besides that I'm working, also when I'm on my residence, I experience that with your friends and spending time with people in Second Life really helps you where you really can't do that right now in real life. So yeah, well, with that said, it really helps me. Yeah, and it has helped me a lot.
I was going to ask, do the moles have parties? Do they socialise? I'm going to start with Dion this time and work the other way along.
Um,
Do you hang out together in leisure time, or is there no leisure time?
well, that's a big secret. We do hangouts, I guess. You mean on our residence?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I assume we all do that. Yeah, but we hang out. There are some parties here and there. But there's also a lot of parties that people throw in the Belissaria community.
Right.
That I try to go to when I have time. But yeah, we do have parties here and there, and we do hangouts. Yeah.
Alotta, do you tend to socialise with your other fellow moles?
Oh yeah, like I think that's one of the fun parts of being a mole. Like, um, you get to have a lot of fun with people that it's just like a blast to have a time to work with them. Like it doesn't feel it like work. It really helps. Um, you get to be on voice with them and just work, have fun, laugh. Like even if you're just working, it just makes everything lighter. Um, I have even spent time with them and non-work hours just to be like hanging around and yeah. So and then even non-mole times, like yeah, even my alt is still pretty active going out there. So um, yeah, but there is definitely time for having fun, even though we work a lot.
Kronos, you look forward to your mole fun times.
Oh yeah, we gate crash parties all the time. And a lot of makes us play Cards Against Humanity.
Make us like I force you.
Oh, it always ends up pretty messy. You don't want moles playing that game.
If you don't break the game, that is.
If we don't break the game, that is. Yeah, we're good at breaking things that shouldn't break. That's kind of a talent of the moles. But yeah, we have a lot of fun. We don't specifically assign times for hey, today let's take the day off and let's just have some fun. It kind of naturally happens through the process of our work because, um, I mean, when we're making something or decorating something or doing something, something funny will just naturally happen. Like the amount of times I've been kind of just on one of the regions and just checking something, and then I see Abner fly past in his car and just hit into a tree, and it's it's a beautiful sight, and it has everyone laughing.
Abner, are you as bad at driving as I am?
Well, I just play that. They don't realize that I'm actually trying to hit them. But it, it's like any work environment. You have your friends at work that and yeah, if you think about it in that terms, it's like okay, we're all knocking off work and we're gonna go down to the bar or we're down and go to a show or something. You have work with and And in the Second Life, in the moles, it's like, okay, okay, we're all done with this. Let's blow off some steam, and we'll jump in the car and we'll drive down the roads a bit or something, and throw fire bombs out, and just blow off some steam, literally that way, but just goof around and have fun. But yeah, we do. And then there's other things that are more work related, like we'll have meetings, and then at the end of the meeting, if we have a few moments or something, we'll say, hey, let's all go to this thing that we've been working on, so everybody can kind of see what we've been doing, and we'll all check it out, and talk and hang out for a little bit for the end of the meeting. And but yeah, Kronos is right. It kind of naturally occurs, just like it would in any quote unquote real life job.
I've been on one of those kind of running through a game things, because I think I was dragged and pushed through Horizons by a whole bunch of moles who were wearing evening dress. And every time I got killed, they were kind of pushing me forward. And I got killed a hell of a lot.
Sounds like when I was testing Linden Realms with Derek for the uplift. I'm just going to teleport you somewhere. As I landed, I hazard back to the death respawn. It's like, hang on, God port. Dink, whip, next. He said the first time was accidental. I still don't believe him.
Is that why Derek asked me where the worst perils are? That might have been why.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Teleport him there. Yeah.
Am I on fire yet? Oh, no, there we go. Yeah, now I am. That's all right then.
Just another day.
So I've got a question from Giselle Longcombe, which is, I wonder if there are any plans for some party crashing for Belisaria's 2nd anniversary celebrations.
Ooh, if you throw us an invite, we might turn up.
So are they having they're having an anniversary?
Apparently, allegedly.
Oh, okay. Never.
There
What's
might be.
What's a Belissaria?
I think it's a type of drink.
Oh yeah, I think I had one of those on holiday.
Yeah, it's the one with the little umbrella in it, I think, and the curly straw.
Ooh.
Yeah, little umbrella, curly straw, and the really good Lord. Yeah.
I think someone ought to make a cocktail for Belisaria's 2nd anniversary.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
Rusalka, you make drinks. You could do that.
Anything to get Abner off the Jägermol.
I mean, we have drinks with umbrellas. We just have to name it.
Patch, I was going to ask you an important question now. You've got quite a full team working, but you've got a huge project underway. Are there any vacancies for moles? Could people apply? And if they can, how should they do that?
I don't particularly have a specific position open right now. Sometimes that need comes and goes. Whenever we decide to add to the team, it's usually based on, we have a need in a particular area to fill, like I maybe need more help with scripting, or we maybe need another content creator, or something like that. And right now we're fairly well rounded, but I never turn down the opportunity to consider and engage with people. Because even if it doesn't lead to something right now, that doesn't mean that at some point a little down the road, I may suddenly have this thing come up and I need help, right? Like Kronos was probably a good example of that. Like he flung his application in at Derek, and a couple months later we had the need, right? And that's what it took. So the best way to kind of engage us on that is to email myself and Derek, like kind of your resume, CV, portfolio work, show us and or tell us where we can find examples, and tell us what you feel like you could potentially bring to the team and what your skill sets are. And we certainly will consider it. I've had somebody apply before in the past, and I just look at them and go, you know what? No matter what, I really feel that this person will add value to the team, and I need them, and I just had them anyway. So
Right.
that has happened as well.
I have a question that's come through on YouTube, and it's for you, Patch. It's from Seren Mexicola, and it's, does Patch allow the moles to take a lunch break?
They can have all the lunch breaks they want, and dinner, and drinking, and boozing, swarping, you name it.
Do you keep a craft table where they can go and help themselves?
Yeah, sometimes we feel like we probably need it too when we're pulling all day and all nighters and like launching things. Yeah, it'd be nice.
Yeah. Okay, so we've come up to the top of the hour, really. Do you guys have the stamina to take a few questions from the audience?
Moles are made of stamina.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so does anyone have any questions? I can't see YouTube or Facebook, so it's going to be here. Oh, Jalen has asked a question. The Paleo Quest and Linden Realms cash rewards for completing the quests were cut in half this week. Why? Are these games the moles built going away?
I can answer that if Patch doesn't want to.
I was contemplating. What was the question?
The Paleo Quest and Linden Realms cash rewards for completing the quests were cut in half this week.
Right.
And Jalen was wondering why. And are these games that the moles built going away?
No, they are not going away. You know, and I'll just be transparent about this. It's best. There's certainly no hiding the fact that there was some level of abuse happening, and or some people taking advantage of how the games operate. And despite our clear warnings, actions, rules in place, and otherwise, they were not heeding the advice to chill out, calm down, and stop abusing it. And so we're starting to escalate measures on, slowing that roll. So, if you are using any sort of programmatic ways to get around the various anti-cheat devices in the games, or botting, or using any kind of software automation, which is forbidden in the rules, we will not only come after and terminate your accounts, we will also start to cut the games down. I'm not going to close the games. That's certainly not on the agenda, but I will devalue them to the point. It doesn't make sense for people to want to game them the way.
I think that's a real shame that people have been gaming them.
Yep.
Yeah. Jared Beck suggests they should be sent to the cornfield.
You could do that too.
Yeah, hype up those zombies. Okay, does anyone else have any questions? I haven't been devoting myself to chat because I've been concentrating on talking to people. Is there any way we can get a list or maybe hints of Easter eggs the moles have built, like Leviathan, for example?
There are so many Easter eggs. I don't even know if I know where all of them are. I mean, 10, 12 years of these things. I don't think there even would exist a comprehensive list of all of them. But if we had a list that kind of doesn't make it an Easter egg anymore.
No, they just find it and we said, "Oh yeah, I remember that." I was like,
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it would be nice. I mean, there's the travel agency on the island whose name I'm forgetting, which has got sort of links to quite a lot of the early mold builds. It'd be lovely to have a kind of. Is there a way to do updates of that? Or is there a place where we can see all of them? Yeah, yeah. Like the Bay of Fables and stumbling across the Greek village and things like that.
Well, I think the difficulty is that when we would put in those Easter eggs, we kind of put them in and then almost forgot about them. And I mean, there's moles who would have done that, and they're no longer with the LDPW. They've moved on to other things. So, I mean, there is always going to be Easter eggs out there that maybe nobody has ever found. I I don't know. It's a never-ending search, really.
Mm, that'd be cool. Cinders said, does Patch hold classes on how not to reveal secrets and how to avoid the verbal oopsies? I suspect some of the verbal oopsies are referring to Sims.
Ooh, we get sent to the cornfield if we say that.
Yeah.
She said the S word.
Electroshock
Oh,
therapy is like
Uh-oh.
How dare you?
You just train yourself not to do that.
You heard those inverted commas I put around it like a lock.
That's what they all say.
I even hesitate now when I want to play The Sims 4. I'm like, the region's 4. No, The Sims. It's called The Sims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to get confused.
Yeah. The cornfield does still exist. There's also a cornfield game. I've seen the cornfield, and it's a sort of zombie game. You have to kind of, fight off zombies.
Yeah, that was one of the first games that we made that was built around the experience permissions, along with the limited realms. Or the KVP. That's what it was. The KVP system.
Yeah, it's
And
a
it was
good
built as
way.
an homage to the original corn. It's the naughty avatars went. So
It's oh yes, I think people do get banished.
Safia will after this.
Safia's got to light some lanterns and do another talk this evening, so please be kind. Right, so any other questions for the moles and Patch? I'm not sure if people are typing frantically or they're just being quiet. Have you found any problems with the uplift, by the way? I was going to ask you collectively.
Yeah, I mean, we bumped into a few issues which the majority of the residents have also experienced that have been resolved pretty quickly, or they're currently being resolved. But the great thing for me and Dion especially was, and I'm sure as well for the Decor team, when we have multi-region builds, I mean, crossing is so much smoother now.
Yes.
It's sometimes I don't even notice I've crossed a region, and then I'm like, huh, wait, oh, back over to that other region. It's pretty
Yeah.
That's one thing I've noticed, especially is it's been very nice.
Yeah, it
I'm,
really
I'm,
is.
yeah, I'm doing rolling restarts every morning on the Home and Garden Expo regions, and it really is nice. I mean, last year I used to get booted at least 3 times as I tried to restart, and this year there's just one that's being mean to me and kicks me out every time. But
You
yeah,
have to be nice to it as well.
Yes, you have to. Yeah, you have to say your little prayer and cross yourself or something. But
yeah,
I was just gonna
I,
say it's like anything. Sometimes some things get better and some things get a little worse. Maybe it takes a little longer for some things to populate, but the region crossings are much better. One of the most annoying things for us right now is the fact that we're building new regions on Belissaria and we can't see them on the world map,
ooh,
which is a little aggravating because we really would use that to navigate a lot, and we don't have them available. We can't see anything on the map other than a big blue space because it's a brand
bit.
spanking new region.
Ooh. Ooh. I'm getting a couple of questions about what the next theme is going to be for Linden Homes. And I'm also getting questions about the SL18B theme. Will it be connected with the new Linden Home release? Patch?
Stay tuned. You never
No
know.
comment.
Yeah, no
Maybe.
comment.
Didn't we say we were good trained? Well, we cannot say anything. So.
We don't want to end up in the cornfield.
Yeah. So, yeah, the anything on the SL18B theme? When will
No
when
comments.
will it be announced? When's
Nope.
it likely to be announced?
Nope.
Not even
Never.
the date.
I actually don't know. We would. Aber, do you know?
I don't know. All I can say is the same thing that I said in the forums, which is it'll be great, and it's not what you're thinking. Not that I know what you're thinking, but whatever it is, that's not it.
It's not that, yes.
Yeah,
If it's what I think they're thinking, then it's really, really not that.
right. Which goes into my whole thing, which is what I would do. See, my theory is if I give out enough sort of red herrings uh for things that even if I slip up and say something I'm not supposed to, nobody will believe it because I've said so many things
Right.
like the complete opposite.
I have been pigeoned in the background. A theme announcement will be forthcoming, and
You just broke off. You
oh, that's just a shame because I even told you what it was. No, just kidding. In a week.
in a week. Okay, it'll be a week's time. That's great. Yeah, I was going to say, well, it's the 18th birthday, so my guess is that it's the year the birthday goes adult. Woohoo.
Pins drop.
I don't want to see any of you naked.
I know.
Not after last time.
We saw enough of it last time, and it.
Wow.
So yeah, please keep your clothes on.
It goes from there to stripper poles, and it's like, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, wall-to-wall stripper poles at the birthday.
No, we can't do that. And yes, Kippy, of course.
Right.
But
Yes.
now at least we know what
And-
Safia's build of the birthday will look like.
In fact, I'm looking forward to your exhibit there again this year.
Yep.
I mean, while we're talking about the Second Life birthday, we might as well put out a reminder that the birthday music fest auditions
Yes.
are still open. So you can still sign up for the auditions for the music fest.
Yep. If someone's got a link for that, please throw it in chat.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
you've
it
got
is.
one.
And presumably you'll also be opening up the exhibitor thing soon.
They will open over the next few months.
Weeks, hopefully.
They just have
that
to
is
keep
not
looking at the blog.
announced yet, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah, exhibitor applications also go up next week.
Okay.
And in
Great.
fact, it's when the applications go up that then you'll know what the theme has to be because they have to build to it.
Okay. Any more questions? I think, yeah, now we're definitely getting pins dropping. Okay, so I'm going to say thank you so much to Patch and the Moles for coming along today. It's been great to talk to you all. I love these chats. And I hope you guys enjoy them too.
I shared it, and I also want to take this time to thank you and to thank Strawberry.
Yes, thank you to Strawberry, who's been live streaming this. And of course, it'll be available afterwards too.
And I want to throw in one reminder, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you need help from one of the moles and we need to come to your home, please have the coffee ready, or whatever. Thank you.
Okay. When I was editing the Primgraph magazine for the steampunk communities, I always used to tell my reporters to carry cake because there was no situation that couldn't be diffused by an offer of cake.
I'll skip on the cake, but coffee, yes, please.
Well, the other way to avoid an awkward situation, which sometimes arose in the Steamlands, was to say, "Can I have a quote for the Primgraph?" And everyone then moved into public relations mode, and you were able to make a fast getaway.
Oh, smart.
But I'm going to say thank you to Patch and the Moles for coming here. It's been brilliant to have you. And I think we have a very enthusiastic audience who enjoyed this.
Oh yes.
They've stuck with it.
I do have one last thing that I almost forgot
Yeah?
about.
Yeah?
In case anybody is interested, I know in one of the previous discussions, somebody asked if there was a demo region for the chalet homes, which are coming out
Yeah.
soon. Trademark. Well, I think Patch already said when they're coming out. We actually do have a chalet demo up now
Oh,
with
fantastic.
the houses in them. It is, I put the link there in our chat, for the slur in the chat, and on the map you can find it. It is LH space chalet space demo.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yep.
That's wonderful. I know a lot of people want to go over and see those. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Oh, and there's something really important we need to say.
Yes.
We want to wish BTS good luck at the Grammys.
Yay, go BTS, good luck.
Right.
Where will
Behind
BTS
you.
go?
I will
Behind
fight you,
you.
Giselle. We've had this conversation before.
Yeah, well, you can have Jimin, but V is mine.
No fightings. Each one can have their pillows with their stamp of them.
No, I'm sticking with baby metal.
Right. I'd just like to say thank you to all the people also who bought slices of hope while this has been in operation. The wall of hope at the back is behind me is now really gleaming. So thank you to everyone who's donated to it. All goes to Relay for Life, guys. Okay, thank you so much for the moles. thank you so much, the Moz and Patch, for coming. It's been brilliant. And I look forward to seeing you all at the birthday.
Yes, we will see you there.
We will see you there.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
More
very
coffee.
much.
Well, thank you very much.
Does someone have coffee?